and welcome to In the Spotlight on Horror Body Radio. It's your girl Lisa, the Baltimore Paparazzi, and that was Fat Boy DZ and Baltimore Big Steve, also with Free Band's Test, or as anybody in Baltimore knows, Test Me. That was Professional. That's one of them stripper pole songs, right. You know, they be clapping ass and everything on the pole. So I like that song now. Right. I like it.
Throw some money ambition.
Yeah, I don't throw no money. I'm sorry, I don't throw no money. Yeah, I had a girl. I was at El Dorado's one night for a show when they was doing rap shows there. Right. And she's like, the girl was like, "You want to buy me a drink?" I said, "Baby girl, I'm not even buying my own drinks." So we go ahead and handle your business. She wasn't even cute. I'm not even gay, but she wasn't even cute. There was one bad girl in there though. Yeah, she
could have got it.
She probably could have got it for a couple dollars. Yeah. Because me and the other photographer was just standing there, just like both of us, just with her heads tied. She's swinging around the pole all the way down. I was like, Jesus, I want to be able to do that kind of stuff. No, I don't. So this week in the spotlight, we have AllTheWayG.
Yes, sir.
Yes. So, Mr. AllTheWayG, we go back to I remember seeing you in Sonar.
Sonar. With the Marvin the Martian in the book bag.
Yeah, right. Sure. Yes, indeed.
That's where the whole Martian life started. That's where it all started around that time. Yeah.
Right. So, I keep telling everybody that Baltimore is so small, but it's so big all at the same time that we all don't cross paths all the time. Yeah. And I think that's the best thing in the world. Because, if you see somebody, I hate going to a show and seeing the same people on a show.
Right.
I think it's unnecessary. So I haven't really seen you for a while. I've seen you on, through social media. And, but as far as being able to take pictures of you, I actually ran into you at, the Wisdom Court networking thing that they had one night down at the Cultural Arts Center right here on Howard Street. Right. And that's the first time I seen you in a while. I was like, damn, yo, it's kind of awesome. Yeah. So, so this is not, I tell people this, I don't call these interviews anymore. I call them interviews for when people want to, Lisa, how can I get an interview? Right. Well, okay, you can get an interview this way. But these are conversations. I have conversations with people. We talk about whatever, however, and you get to learn more about a person that way. Right. So, I do ask, the little questions that everybody asks, but
read from the card.
Yeah, I hate that. So, who influenced you? Right. I've had people come in here and be like, "Oh, Lisa, that's the first time Scar Akbar was in here." And I asked Scar where he got his name from. He was like, "That's the first time anybody's asked me." I was shocked. Your name is Scar Akbar. Right. Like, I know that your mama didn't name you that because I know your government name for real. Right. So, I was like, I'm the first person to ask you that in all these years. Right. So, yeah. So I like to talk about things. But yeah, speaking of names, I like the fact that it's unique. So it's not like, we got these little so-and-sos and young so-and-so, and they all got the same name. So AllTheWayG, how did that all come about?
It really all started with just the fact that, I've always been who I am. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And I've never been afraid to express myself. I've always been the quote-unquote weird person or the oddball, you feel me? That's always been cool with me. AllTheWayG more so came, I was writing a song, and to keep it 100, I probably didn't even use the verse. I couldn't even tell you the verse, but it was more so a play on words, more so. I know people are gonna be like, when they hear AllTheWayG, first thought is that's gangster. You feel me? Right. Gangster. And it has nothing to do with that. You feel me? People call me G because my name is George. You feel me? My mama calls me G. You know what I'm saying? Right. But you come outside and somebody, that's G, he think he a thug, whatever. I'm gonna let you think that, ride that, whatever. Right. AllTheWayG was just really me saying I'm all the way me. I'm the same person you know what I'm saying? And I thought, I don't need a quote unquote stage name, you know what I'm saying? I'm good with it being a title. You feel me? That's why I'm quick to throw out the Mr. Martian and You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't need to be labeled as, like, as anything. You feel me? Like,
right.
And more so just, like, that's just who yo is.
Right.
You feel me?
Right. So what do you, like, is there any kind of a classification that you say that your music is? Because I know, like, your persona, like, you know, when I see you,
right.
I don't know if you know, well, she goes by now, Eva Rhymes, but it used to be Jinx with the 3 X's.
I do remember that.
Yeah, well, she's kind of like you. She says she calls herself a weirdo. She said, I'm going to be me.
Right.
I'm going to be who I am, and I absolutely love that, because, you know, there's too many people out here who are perpetrating. They're trying to fit a persona because of the music that they do.
Right.
So is there any, like, what, you know, do you have a, like, what you call, you know, is it just strictly just hip hop, or is it?
Well, I guess when I originally started taking music serious, where I was just like, I'm really going to start investing in this. I'm going to spend money. I'm going to start making sacrifices. The whole thing really came from, I'm really just trying to, you know, I didn't want to label it. You know what I'm saying? Because to be completely honest, my first mixtape, if you want to go back, the Spaceships of Hip Hop Volume 1, I released it in 2012 on, I think, Dat Piff. You know what I'm saying? I was singing, you know what I'm saying? Like, not on some Chris Brown, like, I guess what you would stereotypically say, like the Drake. Like, I was doing that. You know
when I met you, I think it was, you got on stage with Scarlett. I think you were on stage with Scarlett. I think that's one of the first times that I remember seeing you and hearing your name. And even then, I knew that
I did an R&B cover that night.
You were something different.
Right.
You know what I mean? And if anybody wanted to put you in a certain lane or whatever, I think it probably would be that kind of Drake, Chris Brown, where you kind of doing like both,
right? You
know, the rapping and the kind of R&B thing.
And to be completely honest, like, I'm okay with that, because I can't even say that I've really come up with a specific genre to call it. I remember when I dropped my first mixtape, I was calling it alternative hip hop, because it was a lot of alternative rock interpreted into, you know, how I was writing, what I was writing, you know what I'm saying? And now it's to the point now I've written country songs for shits and giggles, you know, R&B songs, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm a writer, you know what I'm saying? When I get in the booth and I record some music, or the music that I'm promoting, or the music that I'm pushing, is, I guess, what I can relate to most, what I feel like, and I'm a hip hop head. So if anything, you feel me, it would definitely be hip hop, but I can't really say specifically, you know what I'm saying? Like, I could pull a Kanye and really drop a whole 808s and Heartbreaks where it's just all R&B for real. Like, I have that type of arsenal when it comes to my pen.
Because, like, when you just said that, the whole, like, I mean, I don't know, like, I was playing Tech 9 when you first come in, but actually, when I came in earlier, I was on YouTube and I was looking, and there was a song on there with Trey the Truth. Now, I got to see Trey the Truth when he came here. Prophet had brought him. Right. And I felt like I knew who he was. Like, I know who artists are. I've heard their names, but I'm the worst, because I won't go and check them out right then and there. Like, I forget. I'm old. You know, Alzheimer's sets in. You know, whatever. I get, you know, doing other stuff. So I happened to pull up. I was going through and I seen there was a Trey the Truth song. And it was Trey the Truth, Mystical, and Tech 9, and this dude named Brian Angel. I have no clue who Brian Angel is. But I clicked on it. It was from 2012. And the whole song was, and in the video, it was a rock band playing. Right. So it was a rock song with these rappers rapping it, which that's what Tech 9 does. Right. But that's how he started out. You know, he was rapping over rock and roll beats and you know, and everything. So when you say that, that's what I think about, is artists who, you know, that's what, you know, I think that if you are a real, true music person, like me, today I was listening to, oh my God, I was changing the channel so much in the car, because my stereo, I got to get a new radio on all my car. What was I listening to? Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. Fleetwood Mac. Right. then I was back on 93.9 and 95.9 listening to, you know, like I love music.
Right.
So I think that, you know, these people who tell me, oh, I don't listen to that I don't listen to that rock and roll. And I said this one time before, what I want to do is I want to take a song, a rock song, and just take the lyrics and post them and see if anybody realizes that the rock and roll lyrics are not hip hop lyrics.
Exactly.
Because they know me from hip hop.
Right.
So, you know, I think that being able to, you know, there's not much difference, I don't think, in writing a country song, except maybe more feelings, I guess.
Well, I mean, because you can't even really say that, because it's some music, some hip hop music where you hear and you hear it, you could have never heard the artist before, don't know nothing about his backstory, but just hear it, like I can hear pain in that verse. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's really all about the delivery, cadence. That's what really, you feel me, melody, stuff like that is what really deciphers the difference between music, because there are people like Greenspan, shout out to Greenspan, who performs with a band.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And he's hip hop. He is hip hop.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And he's performing with a band. You know what I'm saying? So it really just all depends on how it's delivered.
Right. You know, and you know, like that's why I said, like, pulling the lyrics from a song and just posting them and seeing if anybody picks up that it's not a quote unquote hip hop song. Right. You know, like I said, Tech Nine's done music behind, he's done opera. Right. You know, he's taken opera music and rapped over top of it and everything. So I guess I tend to like different things. That's why when you say, you know, you're weird and this, that, I don't find you, I think it's unique. Right. You know, it's something different. You are in your own lane and you're like, yeah, you all are going this way. I'm going to go over this way. I like the scenery over here. Right. I like this over here. I want to be me. I don't want to fit into these stereotypes. You know, like I asked you about your hair because I was trying to think. I was like, did I take pictures of him? His hair was green and I didn't realize it? I don't think so. Right. You know, so that right there, you know, but now it seems like that's the thing where, I don't even know who the hell they are. Right. Little Yachty, he's, you know, his colors, and then there's a little white boy that one of my friends posted up. She said, "What the hell is this?" Yeah, and he had the Skittles like fronts or something. That's what we call them, Skittles. Right. He had a big 69 tattooed on his forehead.
That's his name, 69.
I don't know. I don't know.
Right? Yeah, but I know what you talk about. But yeah, I mean, and I get that a lot too. You find people like, "Oh, who you think you is?" Or you know, you did this. And this is more so like, if you know me or even have any recollection of how I get down, this doesn't surprise you with me. Right. You know what I'm saying?
That's why it didn't surprise me. Right. I was just like, I just didn't know if it was green or another color. It wasn't like, oh my God, your hair is green.
Like I used to walk around with the blonde in my
Yes, I remember, yeah.
I remember doing shows and people would be like, I ain't remembered your name, but I remembered you. They just called me Blonde Beard because I had a strip of blonde, you know what I'm saying? And it has nothing to do but trying to, if anything, it's just more so a labeling myself. Right. You feel me? Like it's they may not remember your name, but they will remember you. Exactly. You know, like and that originally started because I remember when the first show I ever did with Billy Live in Wisdom Court. You feel me? Like you said, it was back in the day. It was at Sonar, and I walked in, and I really didn't know what to expect, and it was a nice crowd in there. So I'm like, oh, all right, yeah. And then an artist will come up, and an artist coming from out the crowd. So I'm just like, oh, all right. So I'm looking around, and my whole thing is everybody looks like everybody. Right. You know what I'm saying? And I remember the next show I came to the show. The next show I had with Billy, I had the Martian in the book bag. You ain't have to think I was the freshest, flyest, none of that. But when you saw me, I know he's performing tonight. Right. You know what I'm saying? And it was just that alone just started me being a brand as myself. Right. You know, I'm a walking commercial. You know what I'm saying? Right. So how did the whole, like, the Martian thing, like, was that just, I mean, because I think Marvin the Martian is pretty cool. Right. Like, I always have, like, I'm a big kid. I like cartoons. So growing up, of course, Bugs Bunny and Marvin the Martian, you know. So, you know, how did that all, the whole Martian thing? Because you have shirts that you wear that says not human. And I have Humans a Hater shirt, Martian Life shirts. I have all of that. But yeah, it started out because I call myself the weirdo, and the reason not because I think I'm weird, just because if I'm who I am, nobody else out here is cut like me, regardless if we've been in the same struggle, whatever. So as long as I carry myself who I am and what I am, I'm foreign to any and everything else. So then it was just more so the form was just a play on words from another planet, you know, the Martian. And I've always been a fan of Marvin the Martian. I mean, think about it. Between him and Yosemite Sam, they were the only cartoons with guns. You know what I'm saying? And I was a little boy, so then it was just like, okay, he got the gun. So it was just Marvin the Martian.
Well, Elmer had his gun, but poor Elmer.
Yeah, ain't really. He wasn't shooting his gun.
Right.
He wasn't shooting his gun.
He wasn't.
Right.
Yeah, he was always, poor Elmer.
I always, so it was just like, that was like the little alter ego, Mr. Martian. You know what I'm saying? And Martian life, when that came about, it had nothing to do with Marvin the Martian. You know what I'm saying? It was just more so like, this is the lane I'm taking. I'm, the weirdo, foreign, whatever. You don't know where it's coming from, whatever. And
it's like you didn't come from this planet.
Right, yeah, like... Yeah. You're not going to see too many people walking down the street like me.
Right.
You feel me? It's just not sound arrogant, not to say I'm better or worse than whatever you might see. It's just that when you see me, it's just like, you didn't see this yesterday. Right. You know what I'm saying? Right.
So, when did you, I ask a lot of people, when did they start with rapping or whatever? And a lot of people, I've had people, be like, oh, I was in elementary school. Oh, my father or my brother or somebody else. And I've had some people like, well, I just started 2 years ago. Be like, what? Right. So when did, how did this all come about as far as with you and music?
Well, it started with my older sister. She was like, I was connected to her hip growing up, you know what I'm saying? Mind you, she was a tomboy at the time. So she was rapping, she would sing, she has a beautiful voice, she was like extra talented, like, you know what I'm saying? And wanted to be like my sister, you know what I'm saying? She was like Lauryn Hill. You feel me? She probably like Urka if she heard me say that. But just to give you, that's the impression that she gave on me as an older sister. She could sing, she could rap, you know what I'm saying? And so it was like always like, just like anybody else want to be like their older sister, and that's what it was. And my homeboys around me, everybody was growing up around that time where we were starting to rap. And I remember I had a sleepover, you feel me? Like to show you how far back I had a sleepover. And I guess my older sister was like the chaperone. Oh, okay. So, us being guys, she said, all right, I want all y'all to write a rap. And it was around the time where it was those raps. It was like, my name is George, and I'm here to sing. You know what I'm saying? Like, peace to the Middle East was like the big thing. You know what I'm saying? And I guess that's like where the love, I guess, for like hip hop came from. And then once I got older in high school, some guys that, I was cool with, we started like a makeshift. I ain't gonna say makeshift, because it was to us, we started our own label. Right. And
not even knowing what it all entitled.
We was recording into a computer. Everything was one take. We doing 5 dudes on one song, play the instrumental, like it was just as far as raw as you could get. You know what I'm saying? And I think after a while, it was just more so like, I feel like I'm talented. I feel like I could actually do something with it, but so what? Like rappers don't just fall out of the sky. Right. Or successful ones at that. Right. And then I can't even tell you initially what it was, but something sparked, and I was like, you know what? I could do this. And I'm gonna do this for real. And ever since then, it's just like the more I put into it, the more satisfied I am with the product I'm getting out of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I look back now to like from my first project I put out, that was a big thing to me. Like, I'm expecting it to go platinum overnight. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just, and it was just a big eye opener. You start seeing, like friends are friends and fans are fans. And they're two different things. Like, you could be my right-hand man. That don't mean I'm going to go download your mixtape. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just what it is. So, I feel like the more that I put into it, the more serious people see I'm taking it. Like, and that's what's taking it to where it's going. Right. So, honestly, like, it's just more so like, I feel like, not to sound cliche, it's just like you get in what you put in. Right. You feel me? And I'm putting in a whole shitload of shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I make sacrifices. You feel me? I ain't the type to brag or boast. I'll brag about that. Like, I brag to say that, no, I ain't going out. I ain't been out in 2 weekends. I ain't been out in a whole month because pay for this studio time,
right?
Or I shot this video, or like, oh no, like you. It is so funny to me because you come across these artists, you feel me, and some I know personally, you feel me, where I know you getting money, not to be in your pockets. I just know you're not broke, and you go record this song, the track probably fire. You spend $20 to get it recorded. Not to say that there's nothing wrong with that, but if Beyonce could go to a studio and pay $20 to get the quality of stuff that she wants, she would do it. She doesn't. You get what you pay for. Right. And then you get a dude, you pay a dude $50 to shoot your video. And it's just like, right? And it's just like, your cameraman shows up and he's got holes in his sneakers. But you pulling out tens and $20,000 for this video. He don't even got a camera up there. So that's just more so like, what are you really investing? You know what I'm saying? Like, and I've come to grips with the thing now. Talent don't mean shit. It kind of makes you feel like they don't believe in themselves enough. You know, because like a lot of times, you know, I understand that like when I was doing photography, as far as, you know, I was telling people I would do photo shoots. I don't like photo shoots, but and I wasn't going to charge that much because I don't feel like I'm up on this level, you know, with somebody else. The reason why I know the reason why my pictures come out like they do, and it's not because of the camera. It's not because of the camera that I have, because I had a little square, what you would call it, a little square Olympus, that my pictures came out like people are like, oh my God, that was the first camera I had when I was taking pictures back in MySpace days, and oh my God, these pictures are so great. It's because I love what I do, you know. But when I look at other pictures from other photographers, and I'm like, well, I don't, you know, my pictures don't look like theirs, and I'm cool with that, because I'm not, like you said, I'm not like anybody else. That's why I don't feel like I'm in competition with anybody. You know, people try to come, like, I was the only photographer for the longest time at any shows. I take pictures from the first person to the last person. I'm the only photographer that I know of to this day that does that. And one day I turn around and there's like all these people with the photographer, the big lenses and the big, you know, all this big, and I've got this little Olympus that I bought online off eBay. With, you know, I could change the, you know, lens on it or whatever. But it was just a little Olympus. It wasn't a Nikon or a Canon or this big. And then when they would post their 15 pictures that they were posting compared to my 400 and some that I took from the whole show or more, and I'm looking, and I've seen people, you know, I understand that you may not have the money, but at some point in time, if this is what you want to do, you have to invest in it. You know what I mean? Like you said, like, you know, now fucking iPhone makes phones and they record, they make videos and stuff with that. And they're like, oh yeah, these are the best. And yeah, it does look nice. But, you know, you're like a lot of people start just going and doing videos. And I'm looking at them going, well, what about, you know, Spielberg's been doing this shit forever. I love his videos, and he always has some idea on, you know, input on what he's doing. Oh my God, there's a whole bunch of videographers that have been doing it, and anybody can shoot, because my friend has me, Baltimore Big Steve has me shoot videos. I shoot video. I don't know what the hell I'm doing, but he has somebody else edit it and everything else. You know, it's you have to love what you do. Just like an engineer, I had this conversation with somebody. He let me listen to a song, and the other guy's verse, it was his studio. His verse sounded great, but my friend's verse sounded like shit, because he had everything tweaked for his voice, but he didn't do any tweaking for his voice. The reason why I know this is because I've sat in studio sessions with people and I've watched engineers work. And you have to put these plugins and do this, and for each person is different. So I was like, and he was happy with this song. I was like, he was happy with this song. He was like, he said I think it sounds like shit, but what am I going to do? It's his song. So I know engineers that it's just money.
You go in there, you pay them the money. They be like, all right, you pay for an hour. That's what you get in an hour. This is it. So you probably sound like crap, but I know other engineers who, no, do that again.
Right.
Do that again, because it's their name on there.
Right. Yeah, that's crazy that you say that, because with the engineer that I've been rocking with, I treat him like a barber. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not going nowhere else, and the reason being is, aside from the fact that he's extremely talented, he supports his work. You know what I'm saying? Like when he looks at it, or when he engineers something or put something together, he knows somebody's going to go out and somebody's going to be like, well, who did the beat? Or where'd you record it? Or, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And he knows it's going to come back on him. If a product is good, it's going to sell itself. You know what I'm saying? He's the type of person where, like, I go into the studio with him and I record it and things will sound great. It'll sound exactly how I had it in my head. And he'll be like, yo, how about this? What you think about this? Or what you, like, I'm not paying him just for his talent. I'm paying for his insight. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I'm an artist. I know he looks at what he does as artwork as well. You feel me? So I want to see your creative, you know what I'm saying? You engineer. Right. I write. And you know what I'm saying? Like, that's the easy part. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can write a song for the top charts. If you don't make it sound right, it just don't sound right. You know what I'm saying? And he's always been that. I mean, I've been rocking with Joe since, you found me, maybe like the last 4 or 5 years, like steady. Like, there's no need for me to record anybody else. I did one time, and it was for a feature. I paid for a feature, and I went somewhere, and the guy who I did the feature with, his verse sounds excellent, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, he was with his engineer. Right. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm at his studio. I mean, they did the best that they could. I'm not going to say, like, he left my verse for trash, but it's just like, all I kept thinking was, I should have recorded this in my studio and then sent him, you know what I'm saying? But I think there was just more lessons to be learned, you feel me? Just on how to operate in this game to where I can excel the way I want to excel. Right. You know what I'm saying? Because,
like I said, it's to me, I've been around this music scene for so long, and like I said, I've had music in my life all my life. Right. Music was always playing in my household. My mother was always singing. My father was always playing music. You know, my father used to play guitar. You know, I'm from the country, so there's all, you know, we had 50s, 60s, 70s rock and roll playing. You know, that's what my father listened to. My mother listened to. My mother sang like Tammy Wynette. She always played country music. We were, like I said, we lived in the country, so there was bluegrass festivals, you know, and you know, little outings that we went to. Music was always around. So when hip hop came about, I was ecstatic because I love music, and this was something different. And so, and I was, you know, I've been in a band. I was in the choir, so you know, I had. They don't have. I don't think any schools have any. I had music class from elementary school through middle school. You know, we had music class where we learned about music. We learned how to the chords for playing guitar and piano and you know all that. So, you know, I can count producers battle, and there was a producer and we're sitting there and the beat's playing and it's playing and it's playing. And it's playing, and then finally drops, and they cut it off. And he's like, wait a minute. He had a very, very long intro. Right. So they played it back, and Only was on the other side of the stage, and I'm sitting on this side of the stage. So I'm sitting there, and I'm like, listen to the beat. And I was like, that's where it's supposed to drop. Only said, even Lisa said it was supposed to drop right then. I said, because it was supposed to drop right then. Right. That's where it was supposed to drop. Right. You know, so when I hear music and I might not pick up on what like an engineer may pick up on. I might pick up on little things, but I pay attention to music. Right. So I pay attention to if they're rapping on beat. If that, my whole thing is, my ex-boyfriend can rap on just about any beat you give him, and it amazes me because he can rap on beats like. That I was like, nobody can rap on that beat. Right. So he was rapping. I was like, how the hell? And it sounded good. Right. You know what I mean? Because he was like, because the beat was fast, and then it kind of like slowed down a little bit and broke down a little bit, and then it picked back, you know, and he was just rapping right along with it. And that's one of my pet peeves, is somebody who the beat is playing and it's like they're missing it.
Right.
And I'm like, oh no, you should just scrap it. Just get another beat. Just get another beat. You know, and it's nothing, you know, I'm not an expert. It's just that I have an ear. Right. So, you know, like I said, that's when I heard his verse on this song. It was, like you said, his engineer had, you know, for your feature, he had everything set for him. Right. Here you were coming in, so he tweaked it and everything, but to your ears, right. You know, and I bet you your engineer heard it, he'd be like, what the hell is this? You know, so, you know, it's like you said, it's like a barber, you know. Like I said, with Cherie being my hairdresser, right. I don't go anywhere else. Before I started going to her, I was going to hair cuttery, but it wasn't just the same person all the time. It was whoever was available. Right. And they can cut your hair, but it's somebody that knows you cut your hair better. Right, exactly. Just like with an engineer. Even like sometimes with beats, like you can get somebody, my pet peeve with beats, with people who, you know, with producers who make beats, is they make the same kind of beat. Right. They, like, it's, you know, every beat sounds similar. Right. But they're like Mistress Beats, Naughty, Image. I don't think Image is even making any beats anymore. But I've heard beats from them and been like, who's this beat? Who made this beat? And they'll be like, that was Image. It's like, no, that's not Image's beat. That don't even sound like, you know, right. Because they're so versatile. You know, have you run into that as well? As like,
yeah, and you feel me? Not to sound like a broken record. That's why I've been rocking with. You feel me?
Right.
Dave Beats. Shout out to Dave Beats.
I've heard some beats from him before, and a lot of people.
Right. I didn't mean to cut you off. I'm sorry, but I literally just did a whole project with him. He produced the whole project, engineered the whole project. Like, it's really me and yo. You know what I'm saying? And it's just because, and it's funny to me because the same thing that you're saying, he said it to me. Mm-hmm. He was just like, yo, I like the fact that, he was like, I make all different types of beats. Right. He was like, but what's selling is these trap beats. Everybody wants to hear the gangster rap. And he was like, I'm not knocking that because that's what's paying my bills. You know, like they coming and buying it. But he was like, I can do more. I can do so much more. When he told me that, I said, all right, let's see what we can do then. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's right. He knows where I go with my music and how I am with my music. And you feel me? That's why I feel like this project that I'm about to release is so ill. Because it's so me. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's so me. Like, you ain't gotta like it, but you're gonna love it. It's one of those ones like you can't, like you say, you can't deny good music. It sounds good. Right. You know what I'm saying? Right.
And like I said, I like that you know, I've noticed that too with everybody. I had Nellie Hendrix in here last week, and her song Hopeless Romantic that she just released a video for, she actually made that beat herself. And it's just a simple little beat, and it's like, it's one of those little, it's like a little catchy beat, right. You know? And she was talking about like her project where she actually kind of stepped into that, you know, doing what's popular now. She said that's not really her, but she just, almost like she was trying to see if she could do that, you know, like testing herself or pushing herself a little bit to go outside of her own little box, you know. And I was like, you know, my whole thing has always been with a project and with artists. A lot of artists are what I call turn-up artists. Their music is turn up, turn up, turn up, turn up, turn up. Yeah. That's cool, but can you really have a whole project that people are gonna like with nothing but just turn up, turn up, turn up, turn up, turn up? Maybe, maybe not. I like diversity. Right. I like, you have a little turn-up song on there. You have a little laid-back, little romantic kind of song. My whole thought process with a project is, you give this to your homeboy. He puts it in the car. He hooks up his phone to the car, whatever, however they're listening to music or whatever in the vehicle. His girl gets in the car. She hears the song and be like, oh, what is this? Da, 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 da. You know how females get. You know, what is this? Oh my God, why do I listen to this bullshit? Da, da, da. But then the next song comes on and she, wait a minute, hold up. Right. And she wants to listen now. So, you know, you have to be able to give a project that's going to maybe hit different people.
Exactly.
That way, there's always something on there that they're going to like. My kids, they grew up listening to local artists because that's what I listened to.
Right.
They listened to what's on the radio too, what their friends were listening to. You know, my kids were big. Well, my daughter especially was a big Boosie fan. She loved Boosie. Yeah. Boosie badass. Boosie, I was like, look, I can't stand Boosie voice. I can listen to him talk all day long.
Right.
He starts with that little whiny stuff. I can't do it. Sorry, Boosie, but I can't. So, at one time, my daughter's favorite artist was Linwood.
Right.
He actually performed at her birthday party. You know, we had a sweet 16 birthday for her, and you know, she picked she picked the whole lineup. Right. And when I said, you know, my daughter, we're having a sweet 16, she wants to know if you will perform, and everybody was like, yeah, sure. Before I could even get it out of my mouth.
Right.
And they, you know, they grew up on that stuff. So now as they are older, and you know, my son especially, my son's 19, he'll be 20 next month. And he listens to all that shit that's on the radio. And he plays it on his phone. Loudly.
Yeah.
Or with his Bluetooth speaker.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the hell is this shit? He'd be like, it's so-and-so. I'm like, but in the core of it all, they got me to listen to Kevin Gates. I fought it for a long time. But when I had to get in my daughter's car, it's her car, so I got to listen to what she's listening to. That's the rules.
Right.
You know, she gets in my car, you got to listen to what I'm listening to. Get in your car, you got to listen to what you're listening to. And for the longest time, you know, until I went and looked up lyrics, then that's what got me. Because I'm a lyrics person. Right. You know, the beat can be hard all day long, but if you're rapping Dr. Seuss, you're not in. I'm like, right. You know, I used to say that about Lil Wayne. Lil Wayne could rap Dr. Seuss, and everybody like, oh my God, did you hear what Wayne said? Yeah, he's recited Dr. Seuss. Right. You know, I'm a lyrics person. I like words. I like to be able to close my eyes and visualize a video in my head. Some of this music plays now. It's a good thing I don't have epilepsy, because I'd probably go into a seizure because it's just all over everywhere. Right. You know, and it's nothing against, you know, they can do whatever they want to do. I'm not hating on them, because I've been accused of hating on the newer ones and everything else. Do what you do. If that's making you money, cool. If that's giving you notoriety, cool. But is it going to give you longevity? Exactly. And, you know, like, I've said this before, and what got me was when you said alternative hip hop. Now, rock and roll, the genre of rock and roll has rock and roll. Then they have the other subgenres off of that. Hip hop has never really had that, except for, oh, that's gangster rap. Right. You know what I mean? But now we have the gangster rap. We have the trap music. We have the mumble rap. Right. You know what I mean? We have whatever Tech Nine is doing with his music. You know what I mean? So we do have these, but nobody is really actually putting those subgenres out there. Everybody wants to just say that it's hip hop, and then when the mumble rappers come along, that's not hip hop. That's a subgenre. Exactly. I will give you that's a subgenre of hip hop. It's not the core hip hop where it all started at, but it's like a like spores. You know how spores pop off, and then they, you know, multiply. That's the way I see it. Right.
But I mean, at the same time, like I mean, it makes perfect sense. Like it's definitely a form of hip hop. Right. Like you'd be lying if you say it wasn't. You know what I'm saying? It's just like you said. It's really just it's a branch off of the tree. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, like and it's crazy just because I never looked at it like that, but it's just like you said with rock, there's alternative, there's heavy metal, you know what I'm saying, classical, you know what I'm saying? So it's just like
a lot of people like we've had these arguments, and I see it on Facebook all the time, and I've had conversations with people, and this one over here saying, you know, well, hip hop's got to evolve, and I understand it is evolving, but the word hip hop, that core, what they're doing is not this right here. Right. It's a piece of this. They've learned from this, and they twisted it and made it their own. what got me was, okay, Baltimore club music. Everybody knows Baltimore club music, what it sounds like, just like go-go. Now, I've had people tell me, I can't stand go-go. Actually, I love go-go. Like I said, my husband was from Southeast D.C.
Right.
He loved go-go. He hated Baltimore, but he loved go-go. I love go-go. I love go-go way back to Work the Walls, and even EU would work doing the butt. I heard that today, matter of fact. But that is go-go.
Right.
A. Marie did a song, which was a go-go beat. And everybody who couldn't stand go-go loved that song.
You talking about One Thing, right?
Yup.
I know exactly what you were talking about.
Drop It Like It's Hot. Pharrell and Snoop Dogg. Go-go. It's got a go-go beat.
Right.
Same thing. Can't stand go-go, but love that song. Now, Baltimore club music, I'm listening. Friend of mine, she just moved up to Pennsylvania. It's Baltimore club music.
Right.
And I'm just like, yo, can we have this? Can we just, like, really? Like, people are already saying that Baltimore artists don't have a sound, like how down south does, how Texas does, how the Midwest does, how New York does. That Baltimore really doesn't have its own sound, which my thinking is it's the Baltimore club music sound, because TT the artist, she does club music and she raps over top of it. That's what she does. And I'm like, so when I hear she's playing, like she was on Instagram, and it was like, she was like, what the hell is this? And they talking about this New Jersey, some kind of New Jersey music. And I was like, that's Baltimore club music. Right. You know, so have you ever heard that people saying that Baltimore rap artists don't have their own sound?
Oh yeah, I've heard it plenty of times. You know, mainly because you got to think of where we from. To the people that's down south, to them we sound like we're trying to sound like northern rappers, and then from the people of New York and all of that areas, y'all trying to sound like down south rappers. So I mean, but that's the thing. That's what makes Baltimore unique, and the fact that they can't label us between with anything, because that means you don't know what to expect out of Baltimore. You know what I'm saying? And the fact that we have that opportunity, you got to put it on the forefront. A lot of people don't want to push as a city. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people have the mentality of, well, if I get them to play my stuff on World Star or BT or 106 in Park or whatever the case may be, I ain't got to worry about 92Q. You know what I'm saying? And technically you're right, but at the same time, then where you coming home to? Don't go out there. You know how hard the city is. Don't be from Baltimore and get on and not say nothing about being from Baltimore. Right. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what the city wants. They want us. You feel me? Like, it sounds crazy, but they want somebody to get on and bring us with you. Right. You feel me? Put the city on, as opposed to we can do this together. Let's move. You feel me? That's why I rock with Billy Live and Wisdom Court so hard. You feel me? He's really starting a movement for Baltimore, right? Not for him. Not for, you feel me? Don't mind. You feel me? He's pushing this Baltimore hip hop thing. Right. You feel me? And that's died out. It died out a long time ago.
I said the same thing. I noticed this about Billy a while ago when he started getting shows at wait a minute, hold up. There you go. It was playing back. It was playing. I don't know, I guess because I had to open up another window. But when he started getting shows at Soundstage, opening up. Now, that's Soundstage. Soundstage really doesn't want local hip-hop in there because it doesn't make them money. This has come from Soundstage employees a few years ago. Now, maybe they've changed their mind, but I really doubt it. Right. But, so, Billy started, opening up, for big shows or whatever. Billy could have took that whole set and done just his music, but he doesn't. He'll do one song by himself, and then the next song is him along with somebody or a couple people, whatever song he's done had collabos with. He brings people on stage with him so they can get that shine as well. And this is what, I met Billy. It's funny. I met Billy out at Black Hole Club. Didn't know who he was. he wasn't even there performing. He was placing his CDs down on the bar and like flyers or business cards or whatever. So I picked it up and I looked at it and I looked at Mr. This you? He was like, yeah. I was like, oh, okay. I never opened I still have it and it's still wrapped up in saran wrap. Right. Years later, I'm introduced to him. He already knew who I was, which amazed me because I don't think anybody knows who I am. Right. Like everybody's like, oh, at least everybody knows you. You the Baltimore Paparazzi. Everybody knows you. I'm like, no, they don't. No, they don't. Not you know, just like you don't have a picture by Baltimore Paparazzi. You're nobody in the city. I was like, oh, please stop saying that. I don't want to hear that either. You're putting
in that work. You can't.
You know, and it's all to help the artist. It's not to help me. Right. It's to help the artist because I remained faceless for so long. People knew the name. They knew the logo. They just didn't know the face. Right. Until they would come to the show and be like, okay, who is this white lady with this camera? Is she 5'0" or something? Like, you know, I was getting all kinds of things and everything. But Billy brought me on with Wisdom Court, and I got to see how everything was working and everything else. And then, you know, I still remain, like, I still go to shows when I can. I'm not as active in Wisdom Court things as I used to be. But he now, and I would tell people all the time, I tell artists, you need to get in touch with Billy live. This is who you need to get in touch with. You want to do shows? Get in touch with Billy live.
Just give artists opportunities. You feel me?
He has got a venue in New York, I think one in New Jersey now, a couple in Pennsylvania, West Virginia. You know, here he's got a few places that he could do events. His thing is he was expanding himself as well as the Wisdom Court name, so he could start getting people from the city to go out
of the city, exactly,
and get fans elsewhere, you know, and he's not raping anybody's pockets doing it, you know. So people like that, you know, he'll say it quick, fast, in a hurry. You know, I'm giving you the opportunity to come along. No. You don't, that's on you.
There's egos involved. This is hip hop.
Oh, yes.
This is hip hop. It wouldn't be hip hop without egos. You know what I mean? You wouldn't be a real hip hop artist if you didn't have some type of ego.
But, you know, and it's crazy to me that these people, some of them, I'll give it to them. They have every right to have a certain part of an ego because they really are that nice. But what's funny to me is a lot of them that are like Greenspan. I think Greenspan is one of them. He's amazing to me. Yeah. And every time that he sees me, it's like, Lisa, hey. And I'm like, wow. I was like when I met Comp for the first time. When I met Comp, Huli Shalom, Scar Akbar, Mully Man. When I met these artists who I heard on the radio. Right. And I'm like, oh my God, I am just so in awe. Like they're, you know, I had them up on this pedestal. Right. And they're like, hey, Lisa, I'm like, you know me? Right. You know me? And it's a very, like, they just didn't have these big inflated egos. Right. Because they were speaking to me. A lowly person on a totem pole, they were speaking to me. Then I've come across artists who, they suck. Right. And they think they're the biggest thing in the world. And I'm like, a lot of times, some artists that I've come across, people find them, they think that they're being arrogant, but they're really not. They're just saying, they're just matter of fact about it. Right. You know, this is a great song, or, you know, I put out great music, and they really do put out great music. But other people are like, oh, he just thinks he's better than everybody else. I'm just like, no, he doesn't. Maybe because I know him, but he really doesn't. You know, so you're right. It is egos. Egos in this scene is just crazy to me. And I just wish that there was a way that my phone is really acting stupid today. It's the battery. There it goes. Maybe my charger's acting dumb. But go ahead and talk. While I'm trying to do that, so we say I had to ring it up. But, you know, it is really is. It's like there are egos in this city. And
you want to feel like you at least feel like you're the #1 MC. You know what I'm saying? That just comes with hip hop, and naturally that's going to create an ego, especially in Baltimore when nobody has really made it to that A-list celebrity from, you know what I'm saying?
Right, and it's like nobody really counts like Los.
Well, see, I count Los. I'm just saying as far as A-list. He's the biggest artist that, in my opinion, as far as hip hop, he's the biggest thing that ever happened.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Nasty with it, but it just another point to prove with me. Like, talent has absolutely, I ain't gonna say absolutely nothing, but it has a whole lot less to do with this.
Right.
It's really about opportunity, grind, hustle, and it's about your hip hop resume. What do you bring to the table for somebody to want to pay for your CDs or, you know what I'm saying, buy your music? You got to create fans. You know what I'm saying? And a person could love your music, but if they've never heard it, it's got to be something to make them listen to it. You know what I'm saying?
And you know, and that's like, for the longest time when I first came in this scene, I was trying to get people to listen to local artists, to get these kids to listen to local artists, and it just wasn't happening. You know, it just was not happening. And they was like, oh, who, they whack. I'm like, who's whack? Oh, the ones, you know, you talk about the ones that are on 9HQ, and I'm like, no, there's so much more than that.
Right.
So much more than that. And
that's why I mentally put myself in a place where I carry it as if you act like a local artist, you'll get treated like a local artist. Right. And that's not me saying that I'm better than, or I'm putting myself above any of the other local artists. It's just more so of the way we get stereotyped as local artists is you automatically trash. You know what I'm saying? You automatically recording and you feel me, no budget, everything, you automatically, you know what I'm saying? You trash.
See, and me and Baltimore Big Steve had this conversation. One night he was at a show, I think, and one of his songs accidentally got played. The DJ accidentally played it. They didn't say who it was or anything, and everybody was rocking out to it. So if DJs would do that, play music and not say that it's from a local artist, right, you know, they would get, because as soon as somebody hears local artists, they automatically,
you get the sour bear face.
Right. You know, whatever, right. They suck. You haven't even listened to the damn song yet.
Exactly.
You haven't even listened to the song, so you don't know if it sucks or not. You know, so I think, you know, like you said, there's a big stereotype when it comes to local artists. And I don't know how to, like, rectify that.
I mean, at the same time, it's just that, I mean, I guess the best way that I think that I can deal with it is not to act like a local artist.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? To try to do things that you wouldn't expect the local artist to do, so that when you do hear my music or you do see a visual, you're like, where's he from? Mm-hmm. Oh, he from Baltimore? You know what I'm saying?
He don't look like he's from Baltimore.
Exactly. I'd much rather be that.
Right.
I'd much rather be that guy. I'd much rather be a rapper from Baltimore as opposed to a Baltimore rapper.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just really all about how you present yourself. The more you respect yourself, the more respect you'll get.
Right. You sent me like 3 songs.
Yeah.
So, what's the first song you want to play?
I don't even remember which 3 I said.
Oh yeah, Live the Life and Run It Up.
We can play Run It Up first.
All right.
Yeah, we can do that.
This is Run It Up by AllTheWayG. I'm gonna try to, cause I'm holding on to this damn charger. I wish y'all could see me. No, I don't. I don't wish y'all could see me because my hair not done. My face is done, but my hair not done. But you know, it's always something. I always got some kind of technical difficulty. Come on now, you know. So we're gonna listen to Run It Up, and then we're gonna come back and talk some more to AllTheWayG.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. This shit is irritating. It just started today with this damn charger.
See, you got a whole concoction for it. I know the struggle, trust me.
Cause it's a fast charging. it's a fast charging cord. Because my other cord, I don't think it'll it's from my other phone. Oh, it don't even work that at all. You don't even have a flow that anybody can say, oh, that sounds like so-and-so.
Well, I like to think that I can switch it up depending on the beat. Like I got some songs that it's a completely different, like I said, like it really just feels like, with me, it's a vibe when it comes to writing.
Right.
I'm not the type of guy, don't get me wrong, I can write and then put it to any beat. I'd much rather have a beat and then write, you feel me, write a feeling as opposed to trying to create something with just putting lyrics on a good beat. You know?
Right. Because, like I don't think it's going to hold the charge. Because it's not, it just says it's charging, but when I'm running the program to the phone, a lot of times it won't hold it. It's already down to like 9%. Shit gets on my nerves. But like I ask people all the time, like, because I used to be in the basement with my somebody called my brother. Him and my ex would be sitting there listening to beats and they'd be writing. I'm gonna play another song because I'm still trying to work on this shit. And it amazes me on how people write. Like some people I've noticed, they write songs and then like try to match it to a beat. Right. But then it's a different experience trying to when you write into the beat and it kind of gives you this, it kind of gives you that story.
Right.
Scholar. See, now this song sounds totally different than the last song.
Yeah, this was my song for this project. This was my song to give them what they want. You know what I'm saying? Like the whole jump around, Turner. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, this is what the new generation wants to hear.
Right.
So I figured I can give you some of that. You know what I'm saying? I can give you a little bit of that.
But see, that just goes, like I said, that kind of goes back to when I was talking about giving people, like having a project and having different things on there.
Right.
Because like I said, like I like my kids, my daughter's been listening to Kevin Gates since before probably everybody else was listening to Kevin Gates.
Right.
Because she kind of found him on a mixtape app that she had on her phone. And she started listening to him, and the next thing you know, everybody else was listening to him.
Right.
So there's certain songs that I like from Kevin Gates, and there's certain songs that they like, and I'd be like, because I can't relate.
Right.
You know, I can't really relate to it. So, you know, I relate more to one of my favorite songs by him is called "Stop Lying." It's pretty much, you know, basically about people lying.
Right.
And at the time, I was going through something with people where I felt like they were lying to me.
Right.
and another one's called Smiling Faces, which is about basically people smiling in your face.
Right.
So stuff like that I can.
2 phones, right?
I got 2 phones,
right?
But that's because one is a government phone, it's a free phone, and one is my boost phone.
Right.
You know, but
just because it's good music don't mean that it's something that you relate to.
Right.
I understand that.
So, like this, that's one of the, like, it's like I can 2-step to this in the club, you know, and it's just like in the car, you know, driving around, you know, yeah. But compared to the Run It Up song, that's a whole different vibe.
Right, it's a different vibe, right?
Yeah.
It's a little bit of everything. It's a little bit of everything.
And it's like, and I don't feel like you sold yourself to do this.
Right, yeah.
You know?
That was, I ain't even gonna lie, that was the biggest thing. Like, when I was talking to Dave-O about it, I was just like, yo, I want to dumb it down without being dumb. Right. You know what I'm saying? Not to say that the new generation is dumb, but you feel me? Just to put it in a nutshell, that's right. You feel me? I wanted to give them what they want without not being who I am. You know what I'm saying?
Right. If y'all just tuning in to Hard Body Radio in the Spotlight with your girl Lisa, the Baltimore Paparazzi, I've had to play 2 songs because I guess I got it rigged up because it says it's charging. If y'all can see this shit, you'd be like, what the hell? Look, I am the queen of rigging shit up.
Like, you gotta make it work.
Look, I grew up in an age where we had to put go get the antennas done, broke off the rabbit ears. Right. So then we had to go get the clothes hanger, which was a metal clothes hanger, and had to do all this and put aluminum foil on it. And then sometimes, like, you had to stand in a certain spot in the room, you know, to get the good reception. Right. Yeah, it was. Yeah, I'm a queen of rigging stuff up. My daddy taught me well. If duct tape can't fix it, it can't be fixed. My duct tape is coming off, but you know. It wasn't real duct tape. I think it was duct tape from like Dollar Tree or something. But I had to play 2 songs. And the first one was Run It Up, and then the second one was Oh Yeah. And what we were talking about is how, like I said, that they're songs by the same artist, AllTheWayG, but they had a totally different feel and vibe about them. And that just shows you kind of how versatile that he is, you know. Like I said, the Oh Yeah song, y'all can see me sitting in the car, riding around, you know, bopping to it in the club with my little 2-step, because, you know, it's about all I can do nowadays. Arthritis done got into me, unless I've been drinking, and apparently I can do all kinds of shit. And then the Run It Up was just a totally different vibe. You know, both good songs. Both good songs.
Thank you.
You know, so are these both going to be on your project that are coming out?
Yes, they are both on it.
Well, now one of them is going to make it onto in the Spotlight mixtape series that I have.
Nice.
I had a mixtape series. There was already 3. Hold up. I think there was 3 already. So the 4th one, what I did was I went back to my very first show, and everybody who has been on my show gets a song. If they're an artist, because I had some people in here who weren't artists. So I'm taking a song from every artist that's been on my show and I put them on the mixtape. So number 4 is already out. Number 5 I'm working on. And it's just a way that I put it out there. There's no charges on Audio Mac. Actually the first 2 I think are on DatPiff. But they're on Audio Mac, and it's just a way for me to like help show people you know, here.
See, that's love. That's love.
Right.
That's what Baltimore hip hop needs.
Right.
That's what Baltimore hip hop needs.
So,
people don't appreciate that. Stuff like that. They don't. You feel me? Maybe it's just that I appreciate something like that, or you know, just being on the strength of I've been doing this for a minute, and I'm dealing with the egos and dealing with the people don't want to people don't want to give you information like they lose it giving it out.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's just like it don't hurt you none to tell me what you know. It don't hurt you none. You don't lose that information that you give me.
Let me tell you.
You know what I'm saying?
I've had so many people, they will hit me up for, I say that I direct traffic.
Right.
Because what I do is any information that I come across, I will pass it along.
Right.
Because it doesn't help me any by holding on to it. Because I'm like, what am I doing? You know, I've had people tell me that I need to start like a consulting firm and start charging people for the things that I know and everything else. And that's cool. I mean, if that's what I wanted to do. Right. That's not, you know, I started out being a supporter because I knew nobody in this scene. I had an artist reach out to me on MySpace. I liked his music. Through him, I got to meet all these other people. And I came to a show about a year and a half later, and I got to see faces with music.
Right.
So then I started taking pictures because there's a lot of people I didn't know that were performing, and then I would just post them up on my MySpace page.
Right.
People found them and like, oh my God, these are such great pictures. And I was doing it for me.
Right.
It wasn't for nobody else. And then from there, it became the Baltimore Paparazzi. Thanks to Nick Soprano, you know, and then it just grew and grew and grew. Like sometimes I sit in this chair and be sitting here going, how the hell did I get here?
Right.
This is not what, you know, I planned on doing.
Right.
But excuse me, I do this because I believe in this scene. I believe in the Baltimore music scene. I really do. And I think I push and I believe more in it than a lot of the artists do.
Right.
And that's a shame. You know, and there's a lot of people out here who do things strictly to line their pockets with some money. I threw showcases for over a year. I think you did one of my showcases.
Probably.
In the spotlight at 5 Seasons.
Oh yeah, I definitely did. I definitely did.
Yeah. So, you know, I was just sitting there thinking, I think I came across one of them flyers in my memories one day. But that wasn't the line. I would leave the show with maybe $20, if that. You know, all my staff got paid.
Right.
You know, I was helping the artists because giving them a platform.
Right. Somebody's got to be that channel.
You know, so I completely understand about the whole. You know, like there was a time when people didn't know about copywriting.
Right.
They didn't know about publishing. They didn't know about ASCAP, BMI.
Right.
But there was motherfuckers over here who knew all about it and wasn't saying anything.
Right.
Instead of saying, hey, yo, you got your BMI? You got an ASCAP? And you being like, what? You know? So instead of sharing that information, a lot of people, they didn't understand what was going on.
Right.
You know, and I passed along everything. Somebody, oh, at least, you know, a studio. We got a studio right here in the building.
Right.
And, you know, they can't get you in. Street Legal's got a studio. Shit, Spielberg got a studio.
Right.
I mean, there's studios everywhere. You know, I pass along all kinds of information because it's not. What am I gaining from it? I feel like it's free information.
Right.
You know, like almost like when I have a pet peeve. When people post on Facebook, they'll ask a question on Facebook instead of going to Google and asking the question. You know what I mean? That's how I kind of feel like sometimes that people like they ask stuff when they really do know the answer.
Right.
But some stuff, like I said, I went and tried to find out how about copywriting years ago because that way I could help those around me. You know, so what's funny is it's not just here in Baltimore. Like all these things that go on that we were talking about, the ego, people talk about support, all that stuff that's going on in every other independent hip hop scene in every other city. I was in New Orleans in February, and it was a show like this, internet show, and we were at Peaches Records, and they were interviewing artists. Right. And so I'm listening because I want to hear what these artists have to say. And the artists were saying the same thing that Baltimore artists were saying. Right. Need support. People need support. They need to do that. You know, there's no support in the city. And I'm like, wow. So every time somebody says, it's just here in Baltimore, crabs in the barrel, da 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 da, I'm like, have you been anywhere else? Right. And most of the time they haven't. You know, I'm sure that if you get an opportunity to go to New York and go and perform, you're going to go to New York and perform. Right. Motherfuckers won't even go to DC to perform. Right. I've had contacts in DC, like promoters, like people who are not going to jip you out of your money. And, you know, and I've had people in New York all the way up to Rhode Island, Providence, Rhode Island. But people won't take that step. And you came in at a time when we had venues galore.
Right.
There was places to perform, and they were not hole in the walls.
Right.
You know, I miss Sonar.
Yeah, I did too. I love that stage.
You know what I mean? Like,
I love that stage.
It wasn't like the prettiest place to be, but it was the right place to be. And the people that touched that stage, just that stage, I'm not talking about the club stage, I'm talking about that stage where we were at.
Right.
Like, Smith and Wesson been on that stage, Sean P was on that stage. He was on there with Guilty Simpson.
Right.
Capadonna was on that stage. I think Raekwon is on that stage. Who else have I seen there? Like, all these people were on that stage. And you know, but there was a time when there was like Sonar, it was 5 Seasons, Bourbon Street, Bedrock for a while. We had the Black Hole Club. There were so many different venues to go to.
Right.
And now I'm looking around, and I hate to say, I don't want to call all these places a hole in the wall, but when you got places that have no stage,
right,
and you're performing standing on the floor, like, don't you have like just 6 inches off the floor, like something to give these artists that feel of being, you know, being able to look above the crowd.
Right.
And there's just no real places.
Yeah, well, I mean, it happens, and me being an artist and doing shows and sometimes never been to the venue before. You feel me? Pulling up you know, to get there and seeing that it's not a stage. It creates a different dynamic from being eye level, but as an artist, I've never let that. Right. You know what I'm saying? It'd be different if I was on that, you feel me, plateau where it's just like I expected. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, I'd be arrogant to even be acting like I expected. Right. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like I get it. Just give me a mic. You know, and any artist, especially a hip hop artist, that's how you should feel anyway. Right. You feel me? Give me a mic and I'm gonna take over.
For me, it's for me because I'm short and I'm trying to take pictures, and it's that I guess I just like that them being up on that stage and almost giving me that I'm looking. You know, I'm thinking from like camera angles and stuff like that. You know how the picture's gonna be or whatever, and it's just I don't know like. Especially like an artist such as yourself who has been in this scene for a long time. And, you know, there's like, I'm not saying that there's certain things that you shouldn't have to do or certain shows you shouldn't have to do or whatever, or certain venues that I think that you're above. But there's really, you know, at one point, you know, like we had the Sonar, which, you know, to me, even though 5 Seasons to me is like the mecca of hip hop, because everybody loved 5 Seasons until they didn't love it, and then it was gone, and everybody's like, "Oh, I miss 5 Seasons," and I'm like, "Well, you should have supported it when it was here." But you know, those 2 places right there, when I think of Baltimore hip hop, those are the 2 places that come straight to mind. Because like, you know, where like in 8 Mile, where Eminem and them were doing the battles. When I see that scene, I see Sonar, because that's exactly what it puts me in mind of. It's that underground hip hop. It's that give it to you the raw. This is it. You know what I mean? No matter what kind of hip hop it was, it was there. So you know, now I just look at these places and I'm just like, you know, I thought we've evolved from the small tiny places, but then again, the crowds have gotten small too again. You know, like I don't know how to get the people out here to support shows, especially like now what I call the young kids that are now performing and getting the notoriety and everything, and all, you know, you hear their music played on 92Q and you hear their music. Like I was at Summer Jam and the Creek Boys performed. I have no idea who they are, but apparently they're popular or whatever. And I know D-Boy, but you know, they were on stage performing. I'm like, I don't know who these people are. I've never seen them perform at a show. They're not performing at shows. YouTube channels. That's how they're getting their fame. You know, so it's a whole new dynamic.
It's and the thing is, it takes out the whole having to actually, quote unquote, put in the footwork. You know what I'm saying? Like, there are artists out here nowadays who never step foot on a stage,
right?
Never performed in front of a crowd,
and when they do, you
right,
can tell.
right, and then they do, and they choke, and then people are wondering why they getting on these, you know, big time platforms where they on, you know, Vlad TV. Like, how yo choke? He killed all his Instagram videos, and so because it took him 45 minutes to record that you feel me, that 8-minute clip,
right?
But he had the time to sit there. Now you feel me, like it's taken away from hip hop, and in the fact that everybody's pushing for the social media thing, like nobody's trying to impact the city the way that Tim Trees did back in the 90s. Nobody's trying to do that. Right. Nobody's trying to do that. Even the people who are getting more recognition and being pushed out there more that are from Baltimore, they're not, you know what I'm saying, coming home and then throwing, you know, showcases, or they're not. It's not happening.
Right.
They're not doing anything for the hip hop scene. They're doing things for maybe their homeboys. Some cats even doing things for the community, which is cool. I'm not knocking that. But as far as this hip hop scene, this Baltimore hip hop scene, the people who have the best opportunity to give us what we need, not giving it to us. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And then if you ain't my mans, I don't know you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's just how people are carrying it. Like, oh yeah, oh, you feel me? What, you pay for your show? What you mean? You from over there? You know what I'm saying? Like, I know you were too well to be paid for, you know, and that's just how people is carrying it.
Right.
You feel me? It's honestly nothing that I honestly don't think anything that we can do until people just start respecting it.
Right.
You feel me? You got to make it respect. It's going to have to be somebody who's come up through this Baltimore hip hop circuit. You know what I'm saying? And puts it on blast. If we really had, like, the Baltimore, it's crazy because Chicago had that movement when Chief Keef came, and then everybody, and it was just a whole drill music. Everybody, you know what I'm saying? It sounded like everybody was a Chicago rapper.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, Chicago, if Baltimore had our turn, we wouldn't lose it.
Right.
We wouldn't lose it. It'd be too much. It'd be all, you feel me? Like, the dubstep or everything, you feel me? It'd just be club music everywhere.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But the thing is just that we don't have that opportunity. Don't let me get the chance. Don't let me get the chance. It's going to be over and done with.
Right.
Like, if I had it my way, Baltimore would be on. It'd be Baltimore, not DMV. I don't mean.
And that's crazy that you bring up the DMV, because we had this discussion on Facebook. It was on somebody's page, and I had to get this girl to understand. Like, she still did. She was just dumb as rocks. Right. I think rocks were smarter than her, actually.
Jeez.
DMV stands for DC, Maryland, and Virginia.
Right.
But the Maryland part has nothing to do with Baltimore. Never did.
Right.
People don't understand it. Oh, it stands for Maryland. It stands for Maryland down there by DC. The Virginia right around there by DC. It's that area. I said Delmarva. That's Delaware, Maryland, and Virginia. Right. I said, that has nothing to do with Baltimore. Oh, yes, it does. I said, Sweet Pea, no, it doesn't, because that's all the way down the bottom part of Delaware, Maryland, and Virginia, down on the eastern shore. Right. That's the Delmarva. That has nothing to do with Baltimore. Right. You cannot, because people are so, they don't understand that the Maryland part of the DMV does not include anything past, I don't even know where, but it has nothing to do with 45 minutes up.
The Maryland part of DMV are go-go fans.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? The Maryland part of the DMV aren't even coming. The people who are in those categories don't come to the city. It's a trip if they do. Right. You know what I'm saying? It's not like, oh yeah, I'm just going in town real quick. No, like, oh, let's go to Baltimore for the day. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a whole event.
I did a show with a guy from down in DC. His name is 20 Below, and he just got engaged. Congratulations to him. I'm so happy for him. He's just been like, I met him years ago, and we came together and did a show at 5 Seasons. He was bringing 6 artists with him, and I had 6 artists. Yeah. Well, a couple of my artists fell through, but we still had a great night. His artists were awesome. My artists were awesome. people were mingling together. They were networking. It was just beautiful. It kind of put, like, people say, oh, but Baltimore doesn't like DC and DC doesn't like Baltimore. That's not even really true. I don't even know where. At one point in time, maybe so, but now, like, it's not that way. But it was just so nice to have them come up and, you know, and everything. And I'd really love to be able to do that again with him, because, yeah, I made some money at that show.
That's always a plus.
I did. I made a couple dollars. Made a couple dollars, but, you know, going back to the I call them the YouTube artists. And it's funny that you said that, you know, when they get on stage. They get on stage, they're playing their music. Well, actually, they're playing their CD.
Right.
And they're lip syncing to it, basically. And then next thing you know, the mic is nowhere near their face and they jumping around. And I'm like, you're not even saying words. Right. So I'm like, you know, where did it become cool to have your vocals in your music and you just going over top of them, you know? And I've heard the arguments, oh, well, these sound systems suck and this, that, and the third. And I'm like, and then I heard somebody say one day, they said it, and that's when I knew Rick Ross does it.
Jesus.
Are you Rick Ross?
Right.
Are you making Rick Ross money?
Right.
Like, if you're going to, my thing is, if you're going to just, it's like a singer, somebody who can sing. I can go back here in the back, go to the studio, and I can sound like I can sing. That engineer can tweak everything and make me sound like Mariah Carey. But when I get on that stage, I'm not going to sound like Mariah Carey. I'm going to sound like two cats in the alley fighting.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I need to be able to hear you. I need to be able to see that you have that breath control.
Right.
You know? They, you know, and a lot of, they just want to make a song and they just want to be famous.
Right.
So do you know, what is your take on the whole lyrics being in your music?
I honestly, I feel like, with my music personally, it all depends on the song. Right. I have some songs that, you know, I use more vocals, you feel me, like melodies and all of that, than other. I feel like, and then at the same time, the venue, you feel me, all of that matters too. But for the most part, I'll have background vocals, or, you know what I'm saying, or, you know, but then I've performed at some spots where promoters like, I don't want nothing but the hook. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was actually a Bacardi event. You feel me? No amateurs allowed. You feel me? So, I killed that show too, by the way. But yeah, you feel me? Like, it really all depends on the venue, you know. I've dealt with the whole, you know, I'm like, I'm a Baltimore artist too. Like, I've dealt with the terrible systems in some of these spots, and mics going in and mics going out. But just the performer, I mean, I grew up around performers. You know what I'm saying? My sisters are dancers, not in the strip club, like actual, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I've got people in my family who've been on Broadway. You know what I'm saying? Like, real performers, really, you know what I'm saying? So what do you mean? I've dropped mics on the stage. I've done all, I've been there, you know what I'm saying? Like, the show gotta go on, you gotta perform. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't matter what's going on. Like, and then I've also noticed that if you go to a show and you give the DJ or whatever your song, and you have it's a whole song, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's ready to be played on the radio and you about to rap over it, DJ's not gonna wanna touch that. Like, just as him, you know, just entertaining the crowd, he's not going to want to touch it. Levels might be off, whatever. It's just, but then the show that I did with Bacardi, it was definitely Mr. Hurd. Yeah. Shout out to Transition Kings. You feel me? Yeah.
He is. I swear, he's the only DJ that I know of that when he does do a show, he plays local artists. Right. You know, he's the only one that I know of that does that at a show. He's not mixing in Meek Mills and this one and this one. It's all local artists, you know. So, but, you know, being able to do, you know, and I've seen him do that to people, and it's throw the artist off.
Right. Yeah, well, I remember, and the crazy thing is, because I've actually had shows where I go over to the DJ, and I'll say, like, all right, well, every 8 bars, you feel me, 4 bars, just drop the beat. Just let me go, you know what I'm saying? Just go in and come out real quick.
That way
somebody just, right, gives emphasis, what's going on? It gives emphasis on the punchline, you know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. He's the only DJ, the only time I've ever had a show where I didn't say anything to him about, like, it was just more so. And mind you, this was a minute ago. It was at Shuckers. Shuckers not even Shuckers anymore.
Right.
You feel me? But and it's crazy because I've done plenty of shows in it, and it's not just the down talk any DJ that I've worked with since then, but it's just like stuff like that. Like when it lit me up.
Yeah.
You feel me? Like it really made me. You feel me? Like in stuff like that. Like as a performer, like to have someone else put in their creative ability on what you've already created. Like, you should love that. Like, that's the whole purpose of it. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't understand how, you feel me, people who claim they want to do this, you feel me, as far as, like, really make music, let stuff like that get in the way of what they want to do. Like, I'm the type of dude, if somebody came to me today or tomorrow and was like, look, G, it's never going to happen. As big as you are now, that's as big as you'll ever get. It's not. I'm still gonna be writing music.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like I'm still gonna be doing that. You know, there's people out here. If you come and tell them, I'm not gonna get the deal. Oh, what? Def Jam ain't about to call me. I'm not about to get these Jordan endorsements. Oh, and then they out the window. You know what I'm saying?
Because that's their only focus.
Right. And the reason for it is because there's a lot of these dudes that are in the commercial industry have used the rapping part of rap. It's just the hustle to open up doors for them to do other stuff. Dudes want to start clothing lines. Dudes want to do this or do that, which is cool. I'm not knocking the hustle, but it's diminishing what actual hip hop is. Not even just so of like the lyricists to the mumble rapping, just like the music. It's taken away from it. It's not art to these dudes no more. It's a hustle. You know what I'm saying?
And you know, I've had conversations about the industry as far as. I remember back in the day, like everybody like, I want a deal, I want a deal, I want a deal. Right. And even back then, I was like, no, you don't. Right. Like this is before you could, like this is before that it was easier to get your own distribution. It was easy, you know, before it was really easy to do anything. But even then, I knew you don't, like, why do you want to get a deal? Right. I said, because don't you know, when you get that big check, they give you that big check, oh, yeah. You're signing your life away. Right. And I learned that when Comp was with Def Jam. Comp has a project at Def Jam that will never be released. They give you that how much ever thousands of dollars. Right. Guess what? You gotta use that. You gotta use that to which to some of these 18, 19-year-olds is cool. Because, hey, they out here, they fucking shit up, they doing this, they doing that, But they didn't realize what they were actually signing up for. Right. Now, like I said, I kept telling people, no, you don't want it. You want to try to do this independently. And that's when, like UGK, Cash Money, No Limit, like they had made it big from selling out of the back of the trunks. And later on I found out, because when I went down to New Orleans, we went into Peaches Records, and Peaches, she's the one who helped No Limit and Cash Money get into the scene. He's the one who brought me in this scene. Right. He was doing an FYE tour when I met him. He was going to different FYE stores, selling a single for $2. He got on like 3 Billboard charts just doing that. 92Q wasn't playing his music. He didn't get on the charts because 92Q was playing his music. He was doing it because he was out there getting those scans. Right. Even like I said, even back then, now push it up to now. And you can do everything independently, but going way back to the beginning of this interview, you got to be able to invest in yourself to be able to do it. Exactly. And there's people who have that knowledge of how to do it. Some of them are sharing, some of them are not. So, you know, it like I said, it all depends on what you actually want to do and where you want to go with this music. You were saying, like, if somebody come to you today and told you this is as big as you want to get.
Right.
Music is you.
Right.
This is what you do. This is probably your therapy. I tell this to people all the time. Music is my therapy.
Right.
So as an artist, it's your therapy because you're writing, and a song may not be all about something that you're doing or going through or whatever, but at least it's a part of you that's in that song. So where do you want to take this? Like, where is ultimately what is it that you want to accomplish with this, with the music?
To be completely honest with you, don't get me wrong, the whole A-list celebrity, topping the Billboard charts, you know what I'm saying? That would be lovely.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That'd just be icing on the cake to me. My thing, bare minimum, I want to just be able to support myself off of doing what I like, doing what I love.
Right.
And that's music. It's so much money in this industry, in studio time, who need plugins, who need, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just there. I would be completely content with being able to have like an artist development and promotions company, a marketing company, strictly for Baltimore hip hop.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Just to be another channel. You know what I'm saying? To, like, I can't say that I'm really working to be the #1 artist. You feel me? I can't say that.
Right.
Not to say that I wouldn't like that. I just feel like I don't feel like I'm working as hard to be that. You know what I'm saying? Like, that shit don't come easy. It don't come overnight. I am working hard. I don't want to try to take away from what I'm doing. But I feel like for me to go there, I got to step it up.
Right.
So that's just, you feel me? Like, I'm my own worst critic. So of course I'm going to push myself hard. I'm not doing enough. I've been telling myself that since 2012. I'm not doing enough. So I'm just going to keep pushing myself, keep making music, keep writing music, and see how far it goes. But I'm definitely going to end up being able to live the life I want to live off of Baltimore hip hop. You know what I'm saying? If anything else, I'm going to be a channel.
Right.
You feel me? For some type of way, some whatever way, shape, or form, when it comes down to this Baltimore circuit, I will be a channel.
And that's good to hear, because I had asked somebody when we was at the other building. I asked him, and he's like in his 20s. I really don't even know how old he is, because he seems like he's like in his early 20s, but he's got this old soul kind of feel to me. But he's definitely like a kid to me. So I asked him the same question. He was like, I don't want to rap forever. He was like, I want to be able to, like, in maybe like 5 years or so, he said, I just want to be able to sit back, he said, and have artists and help them, with their music, and help them get this and get that. And I was like, wow. So hearing you say that is like, to me, is like, I'm like in awe of that, because not many people even consider that, I don't think, to be able to say, I'm not gonna be able to rap forever. I might be another Jay-Z and be in my 40s and rapping, and I think Jay-Z probably gonna be like 95 years old, and he's still gonna put out an album just because I can. Right. Not sure what it's gonna be entailing, but he's just one of those people that he throws an album out there just because he can do it. Exactly. And a lot of artists, I don't think that they think past today. So you even going that route, I think that's one thing that's missing. Like, we have no hierarchy, I guess, if you want to put it that way. We have no mentors. A few of the older guys might try to help certain people, but we don't even have, God rest his soul, they don't even be able to perform, give them a platform to be able to perform somewhere. Right. You know, before it was like you're going down the harbor and you're doing battling and you're in McDonald's parking lot battling, or you're, you know, on the corner somewhere rapping with your homeboys. But, you know, those are like two names that when I came in that people were saying they helped do this, they helped do that. Now, like, there's no, you know, Ogun's helping people do, you know, like he's doing a lot of, he's doing like a lot of more social awareness things. You know, the Baltimore ceasefire. I've just seen where him and Damon Blue were at something, and the mayor was there. You know, and Hello Rello was just at a thing for. He did the summer thing that they have every summer, the little concerts that they have in the different neighborhoods. So he was a part of that. People don't even know about that or even how to get a part of that. There's so many different things that we could be doing to get more. My whole thing is to get more people to see that there's a Baltimore scene. The scene is so big and there's so many artists, but there's so many. And when I first came in the scene, and I'm playing local artist music, and the kids were like, "Who is that?" And I was like, "You know, it's so and so." I'm like, "Who?" I was like, he's local, you know, he's from right here, you know. So come to find out, I had two kids that used to come and get ringtones from me. They're artists now, and they were sitting right here. And it wasn't until the end of the interview that I was like, I used to do ringtones. And Papa goes, "You're the ringtone lady, right there on Public Road in Winchester." And I was like, "We used to come get ringtones from you." The one boy was like, "I used to walk across Lafayette Bridge to come get my ringtones." I was like, damn, y'all used to walk a couple of miles to come get ringtones from me? So, you know, I think that you know, even thinking about doing that is a blessing to those artists that you're going to be able to help. Because, you know, how did you find out about the scene? You know,
I can't do anything but really give all credit to other local artists. I met Billy live through Scarlett. You feel me? And that's just on the strength that I knew Scarlett just because we was cool. And then, you feel me, I knew she was doing her thing. I said, "Yo, look, I need a stage." You feel me? She said, "Holla at my man Billy Live." Shout out to Billy Live. You feel me? He told me to tell you, what's up. You feel me? But yeah, you feel me? And then I just so happened to know Cardi. You feel me? From around the same way. You know what I'm saying? And it was just more so, it's just like, I'm a button pusher. You feel me? I'm the type of person where if I'm going to find out how something works, I'm going to try to find out how it works. You know what I'm saying? So I did my research. I Googled everything. You know what I'm saying? I might not say a lot. You feel me? I might be on social media you know what I'm saying? But I'm looking. I does my research. You feel me? I feel like if I care about it, if it means something to me, or if I'm going to put myself in a place where somebody can actually check me on some shit, I'm going to make sure that I know what I'm talking about. I'm going to make sure I know what I'm doing, how I'm doing it. I'd rather, you feel me, be quiet and let you think I'm a fool than to open my mouth and let you know that I'm a fool. You know what I'm saying?
But, you know, it's because, like I said, when I came in the scene, I knew absolutely positively nobody. It wasn't like my brother, my cousin, you know, all that. I knew absolutely nobody. I was just a fresh face. And it was because of one person. And like I said, it was like a domino effect. And because of him, he had dropped his daughter off, because his daughter and my daughter, they claim themselves as cousins. That, you know, she's always at my house. Her son is like 2 months older than my grandson. Like, we're family. You know, coming into the scene knowing nobody, I have gained a family. And so I'm always interested in finding out, like, how, you know, if it's because, you know, some people's like, well, my brother and his friends, they were rapping and they knew this person and they knew. So usually it's because somebody knew somebody who knew somebody who knew somebody. You know, like I said, the first time I seen you was on stage with Scarlett. So I automatically knew you knew Scarlett. But, you know, it was like, you know, like you just don't know if, like, you knew Scarlett because y'all, you know, grew up together, you went to school together. Usually that's how, you know, it transpires. I'm just like, I'm a person that likes to, call me nosy if you want, but I just like to know how things work. and how things happen. You know, like I asked people before, you know, how they know Billy, because like usually they're artists that I've met because they were on Billy's show.
Right.
You know, and they'll be like, well, you know, my homeboy did a show with Billy, and it's just interesting to me to find out how everything began. Right. You know, because like when you first started, did you think that you would be like where you are right now, or did you think that, oh, this is just something that's gonna, you know, after a while I'm gonna be like,
to be honest, I expected it to be way easier. I'm not even gonna lie to you.
Because those damn industry artists make it look easy.
Yeah, and then, you know, I'm just kind of arrogant, you know, too, at the same time. So it's just more so like, yeah, I know I got some talent. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I stand out in a crowd. So if I get on stage, like, hey, I can do this. Like, so I was really under the impression, like I told you, when I dropped my first project, it's about to go platinum in a day. Shoot my first video, I'm expecting 1 million views the first day. Like, I'm expecting all of that. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, of course, obviously things didn't go out like that. It was a punch in the face. But, I mean, I could say it was at a point in time where I was really ready to give up with the music. And a lot of it had to do with that I had such high expectations for myself. You know, like, I know a lot of people. I know a lot of people who actually, like, genuinely fuck with me. So I'm like, no, I dropped this mixtape all up. You know what I'm saying? I know for sure. Right, just because it's me. Just, you know, type. And you realize that it's not like that. So it's just like, like, I got to go get some fans, not just my friends. You know what I'm saying? And like I told myself, I was like, you know what? I don't know if I'm gonna do this. And then it just got to the point where like I had people like my older sister and actually like my mom. She's like one of my biggest supporters. Like not even just on some that's my son. Like she's really invested. You know what I'm saying? Moms has come down and sat in the booth with me. You know, to the point the engineers is like, yo, that's really your mother? Like, you want your mother? Yes. You feel me? She's here. She's with it. She's with the movement. You feel me? Shout out to moms. That's my JoJo. You feel me? But even aside from all that, I told my, you know, we're having them in my ear, and they was like, you know, if this is what you really like to do, obviously, like, do it for real. And I told myself, I said, you know what? I'm going to really, like, take it serious. Like, I'm going to really put some work in. And if I don't get nothing, if I'm not getting the right type of feedback afterwards, then I don't know, you know what I'm saying? Because it was a point in time I was doing shows and, you know, I dropped the first mixtape and I'm paying for videos and people will see me in public, people that actually know me and be like, oh, you rap? And you feel me? Stuff like that is like, it's humbling as an artist. Because you're just like, damn. Right, and it's just like, I'm not, now it's to the point now where it's just like, you can't, you know what I'm saying? Like, I've really transformed myself into a hip-hop artist. Like, you can't come across any of my social media handles and not tell that this dude makes music. Like, you know, it just doesn't happen, you know what I'm saying? And just like, that alone was so much reassurance for me. Like, might not be good in your opinion, might not be the greatest, but I'm definitely a rapper. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? So then it's just like, you know, it's what I wake up and I think about making songs, or I think about beats, or, you know what I'm saying? It's just like, before I go to sleep, I'm thinking about music, or, you know what I'm saying, features, and who I could work with, and how I'm going to hit the city in the head with this one, and stuff like that. And it's just stuff like that reassures me, like, this is what I want to do. I can't help it. This is who I am. And the reassurance that I get from people who, I ain't going to say show fake love, but show half-ass support. Like, in real life. So, you talking about come to your show, I can't make it, but you're not going to feel no type of way because you my man in real life. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, you might get a tweet or something, you shout out to my man. It's just like, yeah, I appreciate, but you know, like real fans is, you scroll down your timeline, they done posted 3 times that they was listening to this song by Future today or listening to this song, you know what I'm saying? So it's just like, once I actually started seeing stuff like that, like after I dropped the mixtape and I see just one of my, not gonna say not my friends, but not my like real friend, and they posting a video of them doing something miscellaneous, but they listening to my joint. You feel me? Stuff like that. It's just like, oh shit, like now I feel like somebody's favorite rapper. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like ever since then, I'm gonna carry myself as your favorite rapper. I wake up in the morning, do I look like your favorite rapper this morning? You know what I'm saying? Even on bummy days, I ain't necessarily saying coming out and getting fresh and all of that, but you know what I'm saying? Like I wanna be
Right.
That's what I'm gonna be. You know what I'm saying? And ever since then, man, I've been pushing it, and I feel like I can't say that I'm doing it wrong. You know what I'm saying? I could be doing more, but I honestly feel like I watched an interview maybe like 3 or 4 years ago, and it was like Baltimore's top 10 artists. You know what I'm saying? And not to get in that, because I know everybody feels some type of way. I feel some type of way about those, you feel me? But one of the artists in the interviews, they were interviewing him, and they asked him a question, and I swear it was like an epiphany went off. You know what I'm saying? And they asked him, what is your advice to local artists, anybody trying to come up? You feel me? And he says, whatever you feel like you need to do, go do that. And to be honest with you, I didn't expect that out of that artist.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But hearing that, it's just more so like, people tell themselves all the time, I know I'm surrounded by other artists, so I need to get this mixtape done, or I need to hit you up, get a cover done. Then do it. You know what I'm saying? And I really started like doing what I felt like I needed to do, and it's been paying off to me. You feel me? So it's like, if you want to go get it, it's out here. It's only out here because nobody done did it yet.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
So with the talking about the top 10 and all, I really hate those lists because I think they're incomplete.
Right.
Because
definitely.
There's too many artists out here that that aren't being known and that are actually really doing exactly what they say, and that this artist over here who's on this that I've won awards and whatnot is these award shows.
Right. The popularity contest.
A lot of it to me is popularity, it's favoritism, it's people trying to I understand trying to get to a more or less mainstream level with your award show or whatnot, but I'm one of those organic people, kind of, sort of.
Right.
I like the realness of, if you're going to have an award show, or an awards event, then you need to do your research on all artists in the scene, not just whoever you see here in this circle.
Right.
You need to have people throughout the whole city.
Right.
And as far as I know, nobody who's doing any of the award shows. Now, like I said, mind you, I've won awards. I won a Rap Royalty Award. I've won a Rep Your Grind Award. I've won numerous Baltimore Crown Awards. Yeah. Thank you. Me personally, I felt like I deserved them because I was really out here doing, like, my first year I did 60 shows. Right. From January from January to December, and that was 60 shows from here to Brooklyn, New York, and thousands of pictures. And as time went on, last year, one of the last pit fight events that I covered was Deafness from last year, and I did over 1,400 pictures at that one event.
Right.
You know, nobody else does that. I stand out in that way. But that doesn't define me.
Right.
That doesn't define my hard work. I appreciate it. Don't get me wrong. But I think a lot of artists, when they don't get nominated for these awards and they don't win awards, they feel some kind of way, like it's a Grammy Award or something. Right. As far as I know, no artist is winning based on how many units they've sold of a single, of a song, or anything else. I think it's hard to gauge with the way everything's set up right now with the city, to be able to, as far as I'm like, I understand everybody wants to be appreciated for what they do. Right. But it's kind of hard, even if it's the most upstanding way of doing things, it's still not covering the whole city. Right. So on that, how do you feel about the award shows and whatnot?
I don't pay them no attention. Honestly, I don't let stuff like I really stay away from stuff like that. Not just because I ain't never been nominated or nothing like that.
Right.
If I'm just on some, I don't feel like if I won one or if I didn't win one, it would stop me or get in the way of me doing what I'm trying to do or whatever, you feel me, or where I'm trying to go.
Push you.
Like, right. I know people who honestly have made some moves and got things going who don't know about the Crown Awards. Mind you, I've known about them. I ain't gonna lie to you. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, I do my research into the local scene.
Right.
But the fact that I don't let none of that get to me. Honestly, I feel like I'm not doing it for awards. I'm not doing it for super recognition. Like, don't get me wrong. I want if I had it my way, everybody in the world I have one of my songs on a playlist. You know what I'm saying? But as far as like, I don't need an award, or I'm not gonna say I'm not looking for. You know what I'm saying?
It's not a validation,
right? That's not that. If you could give me 50 awards, that's not gonna validate or make me feel like I'm really doing something with my music. If I don't feel like I'm doing something with my music, you know what I'm saying? So, like, I really, and then, you know, there's inner circles and popularity, and I'm the weirdo, so I've never been in that crowd. So, you know what I'm saying? So it's just like, oh, yeah, well, something else I'll miss out, or like, I've gone to, I think, 1, maybe 2, you know what I'm saying? But other than that, it's just, like, I've gone to support because I've known other people who were nominated from some stuff. But, like, yeah, like,
yeah, you know, I see, like, what made me think of it was when you said that the top 10 list, and I see, you know, the outrage, and you know, I see the top 10 list, and I'm like, I have no idea who that is. I don't know who. Like, on the whole 10 list, I may know 1, maybe 2 people, and that's it. And I don't even know them. You know, I know their name. I heard their name somewhere. You know, and it's just like, you all, like, people, like, I was up for Supporter of the Year award last year for the Crown Awards. I knew I wasn't going to win it. I already knew. And who won it? He rightfully deserved it. Right. Brian Hoyt, he deserved. I kind of slowed down this year. I had surgery last year on my shoulder, and I've been in rehabilitation, like, I'm still, my shoulder's still messed up. But Brian actually tunes into my show and shares my YouTube video as he's watching it as he's going to work. Right. You know, so rightfully, I was like, I wasn't even mad that he beat me for that. Right. You know, I wasn't even mad. Like, I was like, I'm surprised I was even nominated. Because for one, I don't ask anybody to nominate me. Right. I don't sit there. I've had people in my inbox, oh, Lisa, can you go and nominate me for this? Can you go and vote for me for this? And I'm like, that's not right. Like, I should be voting for you on the strength of, I think that you are the person who should win that. Right. You know, so it's like you said, it is a popularity contest in all aspects. You know, the top 10 lists that they always put these top 10 lists, and no top 10 list is going to be the same. And people get all the panties in a bunch, and, you know, like, the boxers turn into thongs. And I'm just like, yo, like, really? You're mad about this? Like, be mad that you didn't win the Grammy. Right. Be mad that you didn't win a BET award. Be mad that you didn't win a
Moon Man or something.
You know what I mean? Be mad that, you know, but then again, be happy that you're doing what you love to do, and that you know, you do have a fan base. Right. You know, if you have a fan base, because I've seen that too. Like I said, I was at Summer Jam. I was covering it for 92Q, which is kind of crazy, because I had tried to get an internship, and then I ended up getting a job. So I was supposed to be, what I was supposed to be doing was I was supposed to be writing for their website on local events, local hip hop events, because local artists. And I've been talking to Squirrel White about that for a long time, about, you know, because he was like, Lisa, I shout you out on the radio, and I was like, I don't listen to 92Q. I'm sorry. You know, he was like, what? I was like, I don't. The only time I listen to 92Q is if I'm in the car and I'm switching stations and there happens to be a song on there that I like, and then something trashy comes on and I switch the station. But, so I was covering and I'm looking in all the opening acts and I'm looking around. There's hardly anybody in there. Right. Because they were waiting for Fab and Rick Ross and Monica, which, that was cool. But these acts, Stars was up there. I've known Stars for years. I was so happy when I found out that Stars was on tour with Tech Nine because I love Tech Nine. Right. And I'm looking around and they're like Stars, and it's like one or two people. Right. And I'm like, yay, Stars! I'm looking around like, y'all don't know who Stars is? Right. Really? And like the Creek Boys were up there. I figured, well, they got a hot song on the radio, right. And it was still hardly anybody there. So I think it's just that local little label that everybody puts on there. One thing I did want to ask you, if you heard, because it was all over social media, but sometimes I know we all don't see the same thing. Was it the Creek Boys got signed, and their song that they had, and there's a line in there, something about Baltimore, and because they got signed, they were asked to take that line and change it. Did you hear about that? I
didn't hear about that. Is that for real?
Yes.
Did they change the line though?
Yes.
It's prime example of what I said. Prime example of what I said. Ain't no way you could have that happen to me. Ain't no way ain't no way. It's just not gonna happen. I'm not judging you. I don't know how it came across their table. I don't know why we were asked to do it or what reasons for or what they done signed over, and I don't understand. That ain't none of my business. But I'm gonna tell you this: you ain't never gotta look. See, I love my city. I love my city, and I have the right to say fuck my city. You feel me? But it'll never be fuck my city, and that's the word.
Right.
You feel me? That's just me personally.
This song is called. I think it's the one that's called "With My Team," and
the whole, I know exactly what song. I hope it's not in the hook. Is that what you're talking about?
I'm not sure. I can't remember.
See, because I got the song on my phone, but I got it through like iTunes. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
So, but when I got it, it was when the song had just got hot and all that. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. These labels ain't right, man. These labels ain't right. Stay away from these labels, man.
But it was a line in there, and it said something about Baltimore, and they made them change the line, and it was just crazy to me because it showed what it did is it showed me just what I had been saying for years, that once you sign it. And it's like signing that deal with the after they signed, or if somebody told them it's just a line in a song, it's not going to be no big deal.
Now, is there a reason why they told them to take the line out?
I don't remember, because I just remember everybody being in an uproar about it, and like I said, right now I can't even find it where they said that they had to actually where they actually took that. Right. That line out. It was like one line, and it was like something about Baltimore.
Baltimore, too many niggas dying.
Yep, that's the line.
That's the line. Now I'm gonna say this in defense, and this is just because I'm a realist. You feel me? Like I'm real before anything. If you listen to the song, that line. Feel me? Like when I listen to music, I listen to music and critique it. At least, especially my music. Like, that's how I feel like I know when a song is done, when I'm done critiquing it, when I listen to it, and I'm actually hearing it. When I hear that song, that line sounds rushed.
It probably was.
You feel me? Like, it does sound rushed. But it all depends. That's just me being a realist, but not knowing what could have, you feel me? For all we know, they was like, oh yeah, take that shit up out of there. You feel me? So.
Right.
But yeah, that's crazy. That's wild.
Yeah, I said, why did the Creek Boys with my team need to change? And I was like, oh, okay. And they changed it. The straightforward but overwhelming, relatable declaration partner with a unique hood boy band twist is what has helped with my team resonate in Baltimore and surrounding counties. Creek Boys ended up landing a deal with 300 Entertainment this year. So doing what labels do, 300 had the Baltimore County Act re-record the song and video for the Big Push. And the new video premiered on Pigeons and Planes. What the hell ever that is? I don't know.
Pigeons and Planes?
Yeah, well, premiered on Pigeons and Planes, and a tweak in its hook has single-handedly minimized its impact. Where the song once said, Baltimore, too many ninjas dying, because I'm not allowed to say the N-word because I'm white. And plus, I don't like that word anyway. It now says, can't nobody stop our shine.
Oh, man.
In the apparent interest of pushing the song to the masses, 300 has deflated a song that was initially made as a coping mechanism to heal a city in pain.
Right.
So they changed it to can't nobody stop our shine.
Except for 300. That's crazy. There's no way. There's no way. That's why I'm staying away from labels. I don't need a label. I don't need a label.
Yeah.
I don't need a label.
Oh
man.
You know, so that, like I said, nobody really knows what was said in that meeting, right, or whose bright idea. Right. I guess maybe they thought, oh, well, it's just a line and we get this, but what are you really getting? You know what I mean? Like, that's my thing. Like, I need to know. I've already talked to 3D about this. I have been offered, a couple places have offered me my show on their station. Right. But it's always, well, I have an idea for a show for you. Mm-hmm. And I have an idea for a show for me too. And it is this show. And it's what I'm doing. Exactly. And this is what I want to do. I appreciate you wanting me to be a part of your team, but I have creative control over everything that I do. I just told 3D today that me and Skipper, who owns Hard Body Radio, right, he's the top man. 3D and him are, I think him and 3D are like partners now, but Skipper's the one who started it. And me and Skipper talked about me doing, because I'm booked up until March. Right. January, February, they're booked. I had people, Lisa, you got no, oh, my phone just died. That's still on though. And